So Chris Meloni made a video and he was saying that NBC had canceled Law and Order Organized Crime. I like that show a lot. From the first season on, they had a lot of really good storylines. They had a good cast. I'm a big fan of Danielle Truitt as Sergeant Bell. She was nice. I'm a fan of Sergeant Bell. But overall, it was a good show. It was like, of all the Law and Order shows, it was the grittiest, the grimiest of all the shows. But also felt like it was like the bastard stepchild of the Dick Wolf universe. Like, they promoted Law and Order, they promoted SVU, they promoted the Chicago shows, they promoted FBI, now they promoting CIA. I don't think organized crime really got that strong promotion from the Dick Wolf universe. I mean, they've had crossovers here and there, but overall, it was a good show, man, and I'm going to miss it. But the fate of that show was sealed. I think it was in the fourth season. They moved the fourth season to Peacock, which was insane because my dad is a big fan of Law and Order, but he's a big fan of Chris Meloni's Stabler. And my dad was like, I don't have Peacock. How am I going to watch this show? And what happened was, when they moved the fourth season to Peacock, in its place, they put on Found, that cockamamie show where they had my dude locked up in a cage. It's like, I remember that. It's like, how is this show going to work? And people love that show, but it got canceled. Because people are used to watching Law and Order, SVU, and Organized Crime. And then you put on Found, it's like it didn't work. And in this season, they have The Hunting Party. And The Hunting Party, I think, is slightly better. But even that show hasn't been renewed yet. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be for the third season. But that show isn't really a good follow-up to SVU. They should, all these years that they messed up, they was showing Found and The Hunting Party, they should have gave you at least a final season of Organized Crime. And when you watch the video of Meloni, you can tell that he was a little bit ticked about that, because I think he made it seem like this is the closing of the door of Elliot Stabler. And I think he wanted to, at least, if they knew ahead of time that the fourth season was going to be the last season, I think they would have tied everything up. Or they should at least give him at least a 10-episode season for them to tie up everything with Detective Stabler. I do not think this is the last time we see Detective Stabler. Law and Order SVU has been renewed again. That show might go 30, maybe either 29 or 30 years. But whatever season it ends, we will see Stabler and Benson. There's no way Mariska Hargitay is going to end that show, or see that show end without her and Stabler being back together again, because her and Meloni are too close. So shout out to Organized Crime, really good show. NBC treated it horribly. However, if you are a Chris Meloni fan, he got another TV show. It's a TV show called The Land on Hulu. Shout out to black folks in Cleveland who created the nickname for Cleveland, The Land, many moons ago, and then pop culture jumped all over it. But The Land is created by Dan Fogelman. Dan Fogelman is one of my favorite showrunners out there. The first time I heard of his name, he created the show Pitch, about the black female pitcher that was back on Fox like 10 years ago. And then he created one of my favorite shows of this century, This Is Us. I love This Is Us. Dan Fogelman is really good in the character development of black characters. He doesn't use stereotypes. He writes them as three-dimensional characters, and it's fantastic. And then now he did the show Paradise with starring Kay Brown from This Is Us, which is going into its third season. And now he has The Land. And The Land is interesting because it's a football show. Because Chris Meloni, last training camp for Cleveland Browns, Chris Meloni was at Browns camp. I was like, why is Chris Meloni here? This doesn't make any sense. Is he a Browns fan? So I had no clue. And evidently, then Empire was filming interiors for the Land TV show. I don't know if Chris Meloni is playing the head coach or a coach on the team, but he's wearing Cleveland Browns gear. I'm not sure what Mandy Moore is. Mandy Moore is another This Is Us alum, and she's on the show, along with William H. Macy. Always been a big fan of William H. Macy ever since the early years of ER. And shout out to Benjamin Bratt. Benjamin Bratt is on The Land as well. So it's a star-studded cast. So we haven't had a good football drama in a while. And I trust Dan Fogelman, because Dan Fogelman is an excellent, excellent TV writer. So if you're a Chris Meloni fan, you lose Detective Stabler, but you will have The Land on Hulu. So I have no idea when that's going to come up. So if you're a fan of organized crime, are you going to miss it? Tell me what you liked about it. If there's something that you didn't like about it, let me know. Do you think they should have got a last season? And shout out to Chris Meloni. Shout out to him with that chest. I can do push-ups every day for the rest of my life. I'm never going to be like this. I got a little bird chest. You see how broad my man is? No wonder he's an icon. Dude look like he just got done working out making that video. There's Chris Meloni making videos and Kevin Lockett making videos, and I don't look like that guy. Shout out to Chris Meloni and his chest. And shout out to Detective Stabler. Well, you will be missed, sir.